Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan of Garbage, where we're on a bit of a bloody Bondathon, aren't we, Mason?
You better believe it.
It's a Bond bonanza. Bond-nanza?
Bonanza, correct. There we go.
That was my favourite show growing up, Bond-nanza.
Kincaid is there?
Kincaid is there.
Well, we'll talk about him later, I think.
We definitely will.
What a massive waste he is.
No, I like him. First of all, leave a like if you could. We're, of course, up to Skyfall, a movie which is the biggest Bond movie of all time. I quite enjoy it as like a dumb, fun, amazing-looking Roger Deakins spectacle, but you're like, I don't know about all of that. Is that right?
That's exactly what I said. When we first watched it in cinemas, you said the thing that you said that I've already forgotten, and I said that thing, which was, I don't know about that. I don't know, like for a lot of people, of the modern Bond movies, Skyfall is a lot of people's favourites.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's because it sort of brought back in a lot of the kind of stylistic tropes of Bond.
True.
Like it gave him back his classic Aston Martin with the gadgets in it, and it gave him back his little Walther PPK, and it gave it. I think it feels more like quippy, and there's more kind of lines given to the Bond girls, like like pickup lines and stuff like that. So it feels more like a classic Connery, Roger Moore kind of Bond.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't think it's that great.
No, I can understand that.
I think it's stylish, certainly.
Yeah.
And I like that everybody involved, which we'll get to, but I just, I'll save my opinion till the end, I think, James.
Just till the very end? So you're just going to be silent until then?
Yep. You do your thing, and then I'll be like, it's bad. It's bad, I reckon.
Actually, I didn't like it. So, first of all, I think it's got a terrific opening. Nice. I guess the one complaint is that doesn't look like he's riding that bike at all. Which is fine, whatever.
Which is odd because in a lot of instances, somebody is riding the bike.
Somebody must be.
There is definitely some real, bike stunt riders riding across those narrow rooftops and stuff like that.
Just a real rat-a-tat across the tiles,
But whenever it cuts to Bond, he's in Pinewood Studios.
Yeah.
Which is where he was born to be.
The best thing a James Bond opening sequence can do is kind of escalate and go from like set piece to set piece.
You're strangling a man in a sink.
Yep.
You're strangling a man in a bathtub. You're strangling a man in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Exactly. And just little moments like when he jumps across the train and he like adjusts the cuffs. He takes the time to be. He takes the time, Mason, to go.
I know it's supposed to be.
He takes the time, Mason. It's for us, the audience.
Roger Moore would do that. I don't think Daniel Craig would do that. Can we take a moment in this to discuss finally putting to rest the idea that James Bond is a code name, and it's different men who are taking on the code name of James Bond.
Let's do it.
Right now?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you see his parents' gravestones in this movie. So the ongoing internet theory, of course, is that James Bond is not actually the man we see on screen's birth name, but it's a code name you take on when you become 007, which is why they often look different and act different.
Often,
every time.
Yeah.
In fact. But obviously, this is definitively put to bed in this because we go to Skyfall, the ancestral home of the Bonds, and we see their gravestones. And unless he's like real sad about somebody else's parents,
could be a coincidence.
Could be a coincidence. Just to be clear, it has also previously been put to bed because George Lazenby Bond gets married to Tracy.
Yeah.
And then Roger Moore James Bond goes to Tracy's grave at the start of For Your Eyes Only.
It would be weird if he visited the grave of his
Maybe there's
wife.
a clause in their contract. You have to visit the previous guy's wife and parents' graves. I don't know.
Maybe. I want to talk more about how the other Bonds might have been involved in this towards the end. But one thing I also don't like about this movie is how they just demote Moneypenny. And it seems to be just in service of, she works on a desk. She works on a desk in other movies, so that's where we're going to put her. I just think it's kind of like they show her as being more than capable. And it's just at the end, it's just like, nah, it's what she does. You know what I mean? She gets a little bit of a shootout and a bit of an action sequence every now and then.
Yeah, but again, I think perhaps those elements that you don't like there are what other people did like. They're like, we're putting all the classic pieces back in. We're giving, a money penny at the desk, and we're giving you a strong stoic M who wears a nice pinstripe suit and sits behind a desk and is like, Bond? Here's a mission, Bond.
And he goes, fine.
Do I get to strangle anyone?
Yes. Great. Let's go.
Let's do it.
I also think that it wasn't Moneypenny's fault. It was demanded that she take the shot.
Yeah.
Bond could have pivoted so he wasn't facing,
He could have pivoted to a different career.
That's right.
He could have pivoted to YouTube. But he didn't.
What up, dogs? It's your boy, JD. JB, I mean.
The D is short for dynamite. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Moneypenny was commanded to take the shot. It's not her fault she's a bad shot.
I guess so.
Why'd they put her out in the field?
Oh, he's not great, is he?
Well,
he'd let it get to that point.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And also a great point. There's a moment in this movie where it's revealed to Bond, while he thinks he's capable of going out into the field, he failed all his tests.
Yeah.
And you watch the montage of him failing the test, and you're like, did you think you passed any of those? Do you? Really? You had to walk up to that target and like, you had to shoot it like from a foot away and you still missed.
Imagine having that much confidence in yourself. Just be like, yeah, I nailed that, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon I nailed that. What do you think of the song Skyfall?
I am legit feeling a strong 9 to a 10 on this thing.
It's been out in the zeitgeist for so long now. It's kind of it feels old and worn.
It feels
But-
so long since we've had a Bond movie. I went, gosh, remember when Adele was a thing?
Yeah, she's still a thing.
She's still a thing.
Yeah, but I think it's a great song. I think it does, like a lot of things you mentioned. It's a callback, you know what I mean? It does feel like your Bond songs of old.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the last song in Quantum, they tried to kind of replicate what they did in Casino Royale, and it didn't quite make the man, the trick, and the something, and the what, you know?
Yeah. Theme song to Bonanza.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course you would know that.
But here's something I do enjoy. I enjoy his idea of retirement, which is just being in incredible shape, and it's just pills and scorpion drinking games, you know?
Yeah.
Weird thing to do.
Especially for a stoic British man.
Yeah.
You know?
So we get also the return in a big way, though we have seen glimpses of it in these movies before, the modern ones, of MI6. And I like it for two reasons. For one, they reintroduce, you know, Q and gadgets, sort of, I guess. It's a gun and a radio or whatever. But it also highlights how wildly incompetent MI6 is, which also might be accurate to real life, because there's a moment they're just like, oh, we found this computer, what should we do with it? Just plug it into everything, let's see what happens. Wait a minute, this is a map and a virus? Oh no!
We thought it was just a map, so we gave it to all our friends. I put it on all your computers.
But I remember you showing me this incredible article about the real life spy agencies of England.
Yeah.
And they might not be
They might have spent the last 100 years just chasing ghosts they invented, just to justify their own budgets. Can you imagine a government agency doing that?
I can't imagine such a thing, Mason.
But I do have, obviously, the plot of this movie revolves around Silver.
Oh, your favourite.
And he wants to get revenge against M, abandoning him all those years ago in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So I have his plan here. I've broken it down into about 20-odd easy steps. So this is his plan.
Okay.
So his plan is, for people who haven't seen this movie, his plan is he wants to get revenge on M. So he hires an assassin to steal a list of NATO agents.
Yes.
He gets this assassin to shoot Bond but not kill him using a bullet specifically that would identify the assassin, because only 3 assassins in the world use these bullets. Great signature. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but like, it's 3, so they could have picked a different one. But Bond did see him.
See him with his. I mean, he fought very close. He was on the. He was the only guy also on the top of the train.
Good point.
So Silver would have to assume there is enough bullet fragments remaining in Bond that he could take them out, put them through analysis, and enable Bond to track him to Shanghai.
Yes.
Silver has to not pay the assassin with money, but with a casino chip that he'll keep in his briefcase, knowing that Bond is still fit enough to kill the assassin and find the chip. Bond will go to the casino, be confronted by thugs that have been told to kill him, but Silver knows aren't quite good enough to do so, while receiving a clue to his next destination, which is Silver's boat.
Yep.
He has to get on the boat goes to Silver's island, he has to hand Bond a gun and know that Bond won't immediately kill him with it, but will kill everybody else and lead MI6 to the island. He needs to get captured and brought into MI6 headquarters, which is now in the subway because he previously hacked the MI6 mainframe and blew up the previous headquarters and knew that their protocols was to take the headquarters into the subway.
I love that subway headquarters. I love the look. Sorry,
it looks great. He knows that MI6 will attempt to access his computer while it's connected to their network and unlock all the doors in MI6 headquarters, enabling him to escape into the subway. His plan is to then put on a police uniform, run from Bond, who doesn't shoot him despite a number of opportunities to do so. He then plans to meet up with a couple of his buddies, also wearing police uniforms, walk into a parliamentary inquiry that M is attending, and then just sort of fire indiscriminately for a bit and then run away. That was his plan. He's had years for this. That's the plan, is it?
Yeah. Look, he's obviously...
Because he could have just skipped all the other stuff.
Yeah.
He could have just waited for M to be in the street and shoot her.
Yeah.
I know he wants delicious revenge.
Oh, I love
but
delicious
most
revenge.
of this irrelevant.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're
But the
absolutely
reason all this is in here
Why?
is because Because in The Dark Knight, 2008, the Joker had a similar plan, including getting captured, and that was all part of his plan. And they just went, pretty good. Let's have an oddly dressed, facially scarred man who's mentally damaged, and he wants revenge because of a system that's failed him. Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, let's just do that because we're the Bond franchise.
I have a quote here, Mason. It's from director Sam Mendes, who says, in terms of what Nolan achieved, specifically The Dark Knight, the second movie, what it achieved, which is something exceptional. It was a game changer for everybody. Curious. What Nolan proved was that you can make a huge movie that is thrilling and entertaining and has a lot to say about the world we live in, even if, in the case of The Dark Knight, it's not even set in our world. That did help give me the confidence to take this movie in a direction that, without The Dark Knight, might not have been possible.
Because I couldn't have done The Dark Knight.
There you go. So, no, I don't think any of that is a coincidence. But what a fun man. What a fun villain. What do you think of him? I like him. I think he's weird, and I like him.
So you do like him, you don't like him?
No, I like how weird he is.
I like how weird he is.
The facial deformities, like everything about him, his little tics, the way that it upset everybody, that it implied that James Bond might be bisexual. I enjoyed that a lot. Imagine if that happened now. I mean, I know people are upset then, but just like James Bond, go too woke, go broke. James Bond, feminism, you know?
Yeah. Emotional?
But it just seems like he's having a lot of fun with it. I enjoy the idea that the whole inside of his head is just rotten to its core. Okay. It's probably a metaphor also. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good.
It is good.
You know what else is good, Mason?
What's that?
And I know you can't wait to talk about it. Is the car situation.
Okay.
James Bond has his classic Aston Martin, which of course he acquired in the movie Casino Royale in a previous movie. And now we get to see that car again, and it's the same car. We both think that. What do you think?
It is a different car. I checked.
What?
This one's right-hand drive for driving on the streets of London, England, United Kingdom.
Yep.
And the other one was left-hand drive. But it's curious, isn't it, that there are two examples of a silver 1964 Aston Martin. What I feel probably happened, like in between his last adventure and this adventure, he's like, oh yeah, I won that Aston Martin from that guy.
Yeah.
In whatever, Bahamas. And then he called up his...
in whatever, yeah. You know.
I've got a lot of people in a lot of places. And he called up his lawyer and he's like, hey, can we get that car brought to England? And the guy's like, you mean that car that was owned by that murderous mobster that you won in an illegal poker game and then you murdered him? Can I get that to England for you? No, I can't get that to England for you.
Also, technically, we own it because you used our money.
Yeah.
So it's not your car, idiot.
So I guess the idea was, maybe he was just on the MI6 intranet and he's like, boy, I really wouldn't mind stealing one of these cars.
What do they got?
And then he found this other Aston Martin.
That, of course, brings us to the finale, which is referred to many as it's Home Alone. They've just done Home Alone, which I think is selling it short. Because Home Alone is also great, but I think this is great in a different way, but not dissimilar from the movie Home Alone. You know, I enjoy the fact that we get to see like Kincaid, who, by the way, was initially supposed to be Sean Connery.
That's so obvious in a rewatch.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's like, welcome to Scotland, and he's like, back in my day, we did things differently. We strangled people while dressed as a Japanese man, etc. He's got all the classic lines that he says. But God, I understand that they didn't want to do it because it would have been distracting or stunt casting or whatever. But man, it should have been Connery.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That's not even to say that he would have done it.
No, well, that is also true. Yeah, so Sam Mendes thought that if you put him in it, it would take you completely out of the movie. Because it's like, well, that guy's Bond, but Bond is also here. Did you also hear the rumor that they were at one point going to make it a MI6 former agent retirement facility, and they were going to bring them all back?
Oh, wow.
Did you ever hear that story?
That's too much.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, you might enjoy the final Home Alone sequence, but I thought it was just missing a little something. It felt like... Because we're supposed to care about this Kincaid guy.
Yeah.
And like Albert Finney, the late, great Albert Finney, I think he did very well, but I think you brought him in as a new character that's supposed to be significant, but we've never seen him in anything else. We've never seen him in a flashback or anything to sort of connect us with the character. But if you just made it Connery...
Remember the bit where he's like, I love you, Judi Dench.
Yes.
You're great.
Have this scarf as a token of my
exactly
for you. Yeah.
No, I enjoy it. I think it's the way that this movie, like, it starts, like sleek, and and it's the bit where they're fighting in the high rise building or whatever.
Neon soaked and modern. Yes.
Yeah, and then it's just like, look at this piece of shit house. And even though it's very nice and it's very antiquated and whatever, but just like everything's burning down and you fall into a lake and, you know, just Bond stuff. Just regular Bond stuff.
Sure.
Anyway, what I think this movie does do very well, though, it gives Judi Dench her due in all of the movies she's been in.
Her Judi Dench.
Thank you. She just gets a lot more to do.
Dench.
That's right. There's more dialogue than she's ever had.
No, I don't have anything for that.
Okay. But I think it's terrific. And, you know, it's a nice send-off for that character, not just for these Craig ones, obviously, the Brosnan ones, which she was in prior. I think it's cool when she gets to fire a gun a little bit, I think, maybe. Or scurry around.
I'm firing a gun a little bit, she says.
That's what she says, yeah. Also, I just want to say that Injured Bond is my favorite Bond. Like, he can't just be judoing around the place. He's trying to do those wide grip pull-ups, which, by the way, they're difficult. I can do a few, don't worry about it. So then you get the moment where he's hanging from the elevator, which normally in an action sequence, it'd be like, whatever. But here it's like, oh no, we couldn't even do all those wide grip chin-ups from earlier. And this is a very, very similar range of motion he'll need for this activity.
Yeah.
And it also culminates
And then when Silver challenges him to a game of, you know, free word association, it's like, oh no, he wasn't good at it earlier.
I like it. It's a silly movie. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Because most of the Bond movies, they're very silly.
They are very silly, that's true.
Anyway, it's time for License to Trivia.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. So a precursor to this movie, I don't know if you saw this.
Would you say it's a license to trivia Bond-nanza?
I would say that.
Terrific.
We saw James Bond escort the Queen to the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That?
I do remember that, yeah.
Now, I just want
Did they both parachute out of a cargo plane or something?
Or at least she did. But I have utter disdain for anything royal. I just think they're a pack of pointless, out-of-touch, inbred dimwits. So says I. But it's fun. It's fun, right?
Sure. Tons of fun.
Yeah. I mean, why do they exist? Oh, my ancestors killed some people and we own this land and now I'm just in charge of some things. Can you give up some of your land? No. And also I own all the swans. Okay, I guess. That's weird.
And the corgis.
And the corgis. I don't know. Pointless.
Some of them don't sweat. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, that's right. Some of them don't sweat. The pedophile one doesn't sweat. Allegedly, he doesn't sweat. He is a pedophile. Allegedly.
Some of this is coming out. Some of all of this is being removed.
So I know you'd love this. 85 suits were made for the opening chase alone.
Because 85 of them bloody are ripped down the middle because they're too skinny little suits. They're ridiculous. This is the one. This hits peak ridiculous little skinny suit.
Yeah. So
which is odd, James, because suit supply Tom Ford is not known for his skinny suits.
What's he known for?
Big suits, big lapels, big time.
Big wide boxy suits.
No, big like a 1970s sort of like a big with a lot of drama to it.
Big bell bottom trousers.
You'd think, James, upon watching this movie, that the suits were supplied by Tom Brown, a different fashion designer.
I did think that.
Provides a skinnier suit.
Yeah.
With little drain pipe trousers.
But no?
No.
Oh. Well, that's nuts.
I feel like it's an inside joke. Sometimes when I think about it, like he's like, everybody will think this is Tom Brown, but it's actually me, Tom Ford.
And Tom Brown's like,
ooh.
But it's little things like there's longer sleeves for when he's riding the bike, so they don't like pull up awkwardly.
Yeah.
You know, and you see his little wrists.
Have we talked about that on this particular video series?
Which is that? What is that?
The hero suits.
Maybe not specifically.
His hero clothing. That in these movies, so I would suggest probably this one and Spectre.
Yeah.
He has two sets of wardrobe. He has his hero wardrobe for when he's just standing, which is a size smaller than his regular wardrobe. It's for when he is doing dramatic poses against a burning old house or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're so small that he can't move in them. So he has to have a second set of identical clothing that is a size bigger that he can actually do big jumps and big kicks.
He could do a jog.
Yeah.
He could slide down one of those barriers in the London Underground.
Yes, exactly.
Kevin Spacey was offered the role of Raul Silva, but had to turn it down due to scheduling conflicts. Good.
It's good, I think.
That's lucky and good.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So are you familiar with Daniel Craig's puffy hands in a certain scene of this movie?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, here we go. You know the bit where he goes to the casino?
Yes.
With the chip that paid the assassin with.
Yes.
Because he didn't want to give him money. And it's part of Raul Silva's plan to run into a hearing and shoot him. Well, Daniel Craig actually bought gloves in his own time and presumably his own money.
Whoa.
To use in that entire sequence. But the problem is...
Human looking, like human skin
no,
looking
like
gloves?
black leather gloves.
Okay.
Right? But the problem is, this movie introduced a weapon that is coded to his palm.
That's right.
And that is also integral to that scene because a bad guy picks it up and goes to shoot him and can't. So, instead of reshooting the scene, which they couldn't do due to time constraints and money, they had to like CGI digitally repaint his hands human flesh color.
His gloved hands?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. Just because Daniel Craig loves gloves.
Why did they not pick that up at any point during filming? That's wild.
Filming's hard.
I guess Hollywood. Amazing.
Did you know about the big controversy?
Because he would know.
Yeah.
Because he would be... He
got
would
the
have the
gun.
script. He'd have the script. He would know that the gun only works if the...
Maybe
But he
didn't read
insisted
it.
on wearing the gloves.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
I've got to go back and watch out for those puffy hands.
It's not that noticeable. And it
Why
also
was he wearing gloves? Was it cold?
don't know. It also might not even be true.
But have you seen these puffy hands?
Yeah, they're pretty puffy.
Okay,
But
sure.
I don't know what his normal hands look like, so I'm
true,
not
yeah.
tracking them scene to scene.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the big controversy though, Mason?
I cannot wait to hear about it.
It's not that big a controversy, but $45 million US was accepted from Heineken to promote that brand in this movie and also outside of it. They even did that terrible ad. Do you remember the bit where he's on the boat and you probably
Yeah,
seen
vaguely.
it?
Let's show a clip.
Yeah, Ben and Lawrence will put it in.
We're
It
doing
looks
this
great.
for free, Heineken.
That's right.
We'll take 45 million though.
I don't want any Heineken. It's not a great beer, but I want the money.
Okay,
just to
great.
clarify. Yeah.
Terrific.
But people complained because it's not very Bond-like that he drinks such American swill, Mason.
Sure.
If it even is an American brand
Yeah.
at this point.
He'd drink a warm pint down at his local
Of piss.
of piss, of human piss.
Producer Michael G. Wilson and Daniel Craig were like, these movies are expensive and just get over it. Which I think is true. It's just like, it's product placement. They're in all of these.
Yeah.
Just get over it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one franchise that you probably shouldn't be surprised they used product placement in, it is the Bond movies.
Exactly. And Daniel Craig told Rolling Stone magazine that he wanted this to be his third and final James Bond movie, saying, I've been trying to get out of this. I've been trying to get out of this from the very moment I got into it, but they won't let me go. Actual quote, real
Wow.
quote. So there you go.
So was he signed on for 3 or more?
I have no idea. I guess. I don't know.
But then they trapped him with money.
Yeah,
Heineken money.
probably.
All the free Heineken he could drink.
Ugh. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Most beer's not great, and this is one of those. Now, Mason and
Hello.
people who do remember.
So not me.
So not you. So, and me apparently, because a few years back, I think it was last year when we did the Brosnan James Bond film.
Was it a few years back or was it last year, James?
It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay, you're absolutely right.
If you're watching this a few years in the future, it was a few years back, right?
Okay, good.
And one of the games that we looked at for that was 007 Legends, where they basically took each James Bond era and did a couple of missions for each. Do you know what I
Sure.
mean? But it's all Daniel Craig.
A couple of lackluster goes.
Exactly.
And
So
isn't the
we
overall...
get Diamond Face here.
There it is. The overall premise is that he's falling off a bridge or something.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And during the fall, he is imagining himself in the place of all the other Bonds.
Correct.
Doing the Bond adventures as if he'd done them.
That's right.
So he squeezed him in between his own movies? Is that what's happening?
It seems that way. Well, that was the idea. So what I decided to do for that, I had to play through the majority of the game to get to the Die Another Day levels.
Sure.
Which I did. It was awful. I hated it. And then I thought, okay, we'll revisit this for Skyfall because it's got a Skyfall mission.
Yes.
I'll just pop out that disc. It turns out that I'd forgotten that that's the only game I've actively destroyed.
We did it on camera, didn't we? Yeah.
That's right.
I dared you to do it. I said you'd be a chicken if you didn't. I went cock. And then you fell for my game.
I did.
And I got a cut of this when you bought it again off eBay. So
And it was only $50. So money well spent because, yeah, you probably know this, but and we'll talk about this more next week when we wrap up these video games, but no James Bond games are now available digitally.
Oh, I
You
see.
have to buy physical copies or emulate them or, you know, whatever way that you choose to play your terrible James Bond games from the past.
pirate them.
That's right. Look, go for it.
Yeah.
This
If you're a Q of some sort, you'd probably pirate them, I reckon.
Hello, everyone, and sorry to interrupt. This is James from a slightly later point in time than when we recorded the footage for this game. Now, I'm sorry to let everybody down, but most of the first-person shooting stuff from this that we captured, it looks like absolute shit. This is it. It's janky, the sound's cutting in and out, there's screen tearing. It's as unwatchable as this game is unplayable. I played so much of this game to get up to this Skyfall mission. Horrible game, which I cannot stress enough, comes from a company that has made really good James Bond games in the past. But I guess the good news is, if you can even call it that, the bike chase sequence was salvageable. And thank goodness, because otherwise that means I spent $50 on this game that I hate again, and also, again, pumped an insane amount of hours into it. So just before we press on, I fucking hate this game. It's a terrible game. Do not buy this game. Do not play this game. If anybody ever asks you about this game, tell them that game doesn't even exist. And even if it did, I'd rather throw myself off a bridge than subject myself to it. That's what you could tell people. Anyways, what a complete waste of my time and yours. Let's get on with this, I guess. We're going to get some 007 action, which I think is what we're all after here.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
What movie is this again?
Skyfall,
Thus
Mason.
far, I've not seen anything that it bears any even
You're
a passing
about
resemblance
to.
to Skyfall.
You're about to see something
All right?
that's so Skyfall you're going to shit your pants and then
Whoa.
have to call your mum to bring over a fresh pair of chinos, Mason.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I mean...
Yeah, now
Yeah.
you get it.
Yeah.
Now you get it.
Uh-oh.
Now, this plays...
Wait a minute. So this is just gonna... You've just... You just fell off the bridge in Skyfall. That's why you're imagining this. So you're imagining things that just happened?
I should clarify that the bridge fall is coming up. It happens at the end of the
okay,
game.
Oh, I see. Right.
But it also happens at the start of the game?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so it winds all the way back around.
Yeah, it's like a
Okay,
snake
right.
eating its own tail.
Whoa,
it's
this
the
is-
Ouroboros.
Wow, this is some real Christopher Nolan stuff,
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. James, you went the wrong way, James.
No, I can't go that way because
Ah.
you can probably tell. This plays a lot like... It is an old reference. This will date me. Did you ever play the Star Wars Rebel Assault games?
This plays a lot like that train that's coming at you in the theater, and the whole crowd is like, oh, I don't know if that dates me at all.
This plays a lot like the movie Nosferatu, as in it just scares the piss out of me.
Sorry, I
Mason.
just completely forgot the reference you were saying. What was it?
Rebel Assault.
Oh, sure,
So
sure,
basically,
sure.
you can move back and forth and slow your speed, but you're on a. I'm
Oh,
on a
you're
rail.
on a rail. Okay, right, right.
So, but some of the things they throw at you
Yep.
are impossible to dodge. I'm about to hit one.
So all the...
Oh no,
like-
I missed.
you
I
go.
never miss that.
Also, the general direction is...
Look
is
at
up-
these people
Yeah.
dart out
Oh,
of the way.
they're also
awkwardly.
accurate. So the general direction is out of your
It's
control.
decided,
but,
yeah.
But the dodging is up to you. Okay,
Yeah.
then you're doing great, I think, James.
Thank you, Mason.
Yeah. How many times can you get hit with a car before you die?
You don't. It'll just slow you down. If he gets,
nice.
If he gets about 130, 140 meters ahead,
Yeah.
let's say, because somebody's played this a lot and figured that out. There you go. That's what happens when you hit something. Then he'll get away.
Okay,
And I
right.
won't be able to Skyfall.
Yeah, we can't have
Off
that.
the bridge.
You've got a Skyfall off the bridge. Oh, is that what the Skyfalls in the movie is referring to?
And maybe.
And then his parents named their estate after it. Oh my god.
What a brilliant game.
Oh, it
though.
all comes together. It's like a Nolan movie.
It is like a Nolan movie.
Would you like to see Christopher Nolan do a James Bond movie?
Well, not to spoil ourselves to get ahead, Mason, but we are going to talk about that a bit next week when we cover Spectre.
Oh.
And also, of course, we run out of video games next week from
Yeah.
the... Well, there are other ones we could do. There's like GoldenEye, but there's one in particular from the Daniel Craig era that I want to take a look at, which I
Okay.
think is by far the best and the most fun and mechanically sound. And it's like 1,000 times better than this. This
Whoa.
one's clearly the worst by a long, long way.
It's Moneypenny.
That's Moneypenny, yeah.
spoilers.
And spoilers, yeah. For the movie Skyfall, spoilers.
She's Moneypenny at the
Yeah.
end, it turns out.
But as I also mentioned last time we played this, every mission is like the last scene of a James Bond movie. So it's all climax. Again, like I said, which is James Bond in many ways.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? He's all climax, Mason.
No,
he
I
doesn't
get it.
care about the build-up.
Oh, you sure.
Being comfortable.
He doesn't care.
Setting the tone.
Your enjoyment.
Maybe lighting some candles.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is just going to play out, right? This
sure.
bit. I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
And then we're going to wait for the next level to load. And then we're going to see the said Skyfall off a bridge.
Incredible.
From the movies.
Okay.
So just get ready. I mean, by that I mean, just wait. About 40 seconds to a minute.
We'll just
20
fill some time
for
here.
the next
just
thing.
filling time with
to load.
chat. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it all looks decent.
I mean,
guess,
sure, a little
you know?
continuity error. That truck still has all its mirrors.
Oh yeah, she did
Obviously-
swap on them mirrors, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't using that one either.
The start of the next level is on top of the train, which is going to be a quick time event.
Right.
And then there's another massive loading screen, and then it takes you to where you have to take out the assassin in the squid tower. You know, with the octopus or whatever it's in the background. And he's got so much health. And I thought, maybe we'll do that mission, but you've got a handgun and there's like always 4 planes of glass between you and him. And he has a sniper rifle and you're supposed to kill him. And he's just like, you have to shoot him like 400 times and it's just really unpleasant.
Sounds like quitter talk to me.
Yeah, it is. What you're hearing is quitter talk.
Great.
Mason.
And I want to say congratulations. You've always been a go-getter and a guy that completes the job. And I say, embrace quitting.
Thank you, I will.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of this?
Nope.
Yeah. You saw it in the last game, but you didn't have to think about it. Okay. None of us have to think about this ever again.
Oh, I do remember because you fight the electric guy.
Yeah,
This guy's so bendy.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's like Stretch Armstrong. Burn.
Just atrocious. It's so boring as well. That's the other thing about this game is it's very boring. It's so boring.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Eurocom because they probably, were rushed by, Activision or whoever, I can't remember, whoever made them make this. Treyarch, Activision, whatever.
I can't tell if you won or lost there. I can't tell if this is a...
Oh, it doesn't matter.
A windscreen. Oh, okay, it's just killing time. Terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So here we go. That looks like it, doesn't it?
I was going to say that Moneypenny model looks pretty good.
Yeah. And all this looks like a movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you saw this in the cinemas, you'd be like, this is exactly what I paid for. This is some Roger Deakins cinematography,
Yeah.
the likes of which I've never seen. I hope he wins an Oscar eventually, you say to yourself, in 2012. So there you go. And now we know how he survived.
He just sort of...
He just did.
Just fell on the shore and just...
He washed way up the bank, it turns out. And around the river bend.
Yep, and all his clothing is completely dry, and he woke up and he's fine. That's cool, actually. Yeah,
I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been the game 007 Legends. Am I going to break it this week? No, I've learnt my lesson.
Okay.
This is why I never throw anything away, in case I have to come back to something terrible.
Sure.
And then, but because I might have to pay money
like an
for
old
it.
magazine or a yogurt lid.
Exactly.
Never throw any of it away. It might come in handy.
Anyways, let's get back to the real world, Mason.
Whoa!
Whoa! Fucking awful game.
Really
Genuinely
good.
terrible.
Really good.
No, the worst thing that's ever happened. Anyways, let's talk box office, Mason.
Okay.
Again, Skyfall became the biggest Bond movie of all time and still is at $1.1 billion of a return.
That's a lot of money.
I agree. Off a $200 million budget. So, I think that's what they were going for with Spectre, which we will talk about next week. But that didn't make quite as much money and is a worse movie. Maybe those two things are related.
I don't know.
We'll talk about it.
To say.
Yeah. Anyways, we will be back next week to talk about James Bond Spectre. And I'm very excited to revisit this movie I didn't like when I saw it in cinemas. Are you?
Yeah, kind of. It's got a fun opening sequence.
It does, that's true. I love... I'm going to save it for next week.
Okay, great.
But if you do want to see that early, and you can, Mason.
Yep.
First of all, you can be in the room when they're recorded, but that's only for Mason.
That's true.
But for everybody else, if you got a...
Or if you want to sponsor us.
That's true.
You got $45 million burning a hole in your pocket.
You can sit in the room.
You can sit in on one episode of this.
But also, you can head over to bigsandwich.co, where if you do sign up, these go up a day early. Ben gets the edit done, and they fly up there in real time.
Whoa.
Mason. We also have bonus podcasts. We do movie commentaries. Our podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows, that comes out a day early there, if you are so inclined. But let's leave, Mason. What do you think of Skyfall, though, everyone?
Pretty all right.
I'm asking everyone. I know what you already had your opinions.
I didn't get to my big opinion.
What's your big opinion?
That was okay. You know what? I very much enjoyed Ben Whishaw in the role of Q. I thought it was a good Q. I mean, they turned that character around.
Yep.
Played it against type a little bit. Also, he's the voice of Paddington.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Grab that gem, guys. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye.